Hello, everybody! Today we're talking about Cardi B, one of the world's most famous rappers. She's not just a music icon, but a cultural phenomenon. Her real name is Belcalis Marlenis Almánzar, but everyone knows her as Cardi B. She rose to fame with her unfiltered personality and catchy music. She's won awards for hits like Bodak Yellow and I Like It, and her bold personality keeps her in the spotlight. Her music resonates with millions around the world. Cardi B is also a mother and a businesswoman, balancing family and fame. She's managed to build a brand that extends beyond music. With so much attention on her, privacy is hard to come by. The constant media scrutiny can be overwhelming. Recently, she made headlines for something other than music, a major court case in Los Angeles. This case captured the public's attention. A woman sued Cardi B for millions, claiming she was hurt by the rapper. The allegations were serious and the stakes were high. The case went to trial, with a judge and jury deciding who was telling the truth. It was a tense and dramatic courtroom battle. This story shows how public life can lead to unexpected challenges for celebrities. The pressure can be immense. We'll break down what happened, what both sides said, and how the jury reached their decision. The details are both intriguing and complex. It's a fascinating look at fame, privacy, and the law. The intersection of these elements makes for a compelling story. Let's dive into the details of this high-stakes legal battle. There's a lot to unpack here. Here's everything you need to know about Cardi B's courtroom drama. Stay tuned for an in-depth look. So, what sparked this lawsuit? What led to such a high-profile legal battle that would capture headlines and draw the attention of fans and the public alike? Emani Ellis, a former security guard, decided to take Cardi B to court, suing her for up to $24 million, a staggering amount that immediately raised eyebrows. Ellis claimed that Cardi B was responsible for injuries she suffered, which resulted in mounting medical bills, lost wages from being unable to work, and significant emotional distress that affected her daily life. According to Ellis, the incident left her needing plastic surgery and unable to return to her job, changing the course of her life and career. This was a civil lawsuit, no criminal charges, but the financial stakes were enormous, with millions of dollars and reputations on the line. The heart of the case was a single, crucial question. Was Cardi B legally responsible for what happened to Ellis, or was there more to the story? The incident itself happened back in 2018, but the legal process dragged on for years, with the trial only recently coming to a close. In court, both women took the stand, each sharing their own version of events. The jury listened closely, tasked with figuring out who was telling the truth. Ellis's claim was not only serious, but the sheer amount she demanded showed just how deeply she felt she'd been wronged and how much she believed she had lost. For Cardi B, the lawsuit wasn't just about money. She faced the risk of losing millions, but also the threat of damage to her public image and career. The trial quickly became a classic showdown, two sides, two stories, and high stakes for everyone involved. The jury's responsibility was enormous. They had to sift through all the evidence, testimony, and arguments to decide what really happened that day. This case was about more than just a payout. It was about truth, credibility, and the intense pressures that come with fame and public scrutiny. The case dragged on for years, highlighting just how complex and drawn-out celebrity lawsuits can become, with both sides refusing to back down. To truly understand what happened, we need to rewind to 2018, a day that would set everything in motion and change lives forever. The stage was set for a dramatic courtroom battle, with both sides preparing for a fight that would play out in front of the world. As the courthouse doors opened, anticipation filled the air. Everyone was waiting to see what would unfold on that crucial day. So, let's go back to the very beginning and see how this headline-making story all started. In 2018, Cardi B was pregnant and trying to keep it private. She visited her obstetrician in Beverly Hills, where special arrangements were made for her privacy. The doctor's office closed early to keep fans and paparazzi away. Emani Ellis was working as a security guard in the building that day. Their paths crossed in the lobby or hallway, and a brief interaction sparked years of legal trouble. Cardi B wanted privacy. Ellis was doing her job. Tensions rose quickly, and what happened next became the heart of the lawsuit. Both women saw the situation differently, leading to a major misunderstanding. That short encounter set off a legal battle that would last for years. The incident shows how a single moment can spiral out of control, especially for celebrities. Privacy, security, and public attention collided in that building. The events of that day would soon be dissected in court. Now let's hear what Emani Ellis said happened. Her version of events would shape the entire case. Emani Ellis, the plaintiff in this high-profile case, claimed the incident was far more serious than a simple misunderstanding or heated argument. She told the court that Cardi B became enraged during their encounter and, without warning, physically attacked her in front of several witnesses. According to Ellis, Cardi B spit on her and then scratched her cheek with her long, manicured nails, leaving a painful 3-inch cut that would later become a permanent scar. She said the injury was so severe that it required immediate medical attention, and doctors recommended plastic surgery to minimize the scarring. Ellis claimed the incident left her deeply traumatized, unable to return to her job as a security guard, and struggling with anxiety and fear. She argued that the intense public attention and media coverage not only ruined her professional reputation, but also caused her lasting emotional pain and humiliation. Her lawyers described her as a hard-working, dedicated guard who was simply doing her job when she was victimized by a powerful celebrity. They argued that Cardi B used her fame, influence, and entourage to intimidate and ultimately harm Ellis, making her feel powerless and alone. The lawsuit demanded a staggering $24 million in damages, covering medical costs, lost income, emotional suffering, and the impact on Ellis's future. Ellis's testimony was detailed, emotional, and at times tearful, as she tried to convince the jury that she was the true victim in this case. She insisted that the attack had changed her life forever, leaving her with both physical and emotional scars that would never fully heal. The outcome of the case now hinged on whether the jury believed her account and found her story credible. Next, Cardi B and her legal team would have the chance to respond and present their version of events. The courtroom was set for a dramatic showdown, with both sides determined to win over the jury. Ultimately, the truth and the verdict would be up to the jury to decide. Cardi B's version was completely different. She admitted being upset but denied ever touching Ellis. Cardi B said there was no physical fight, no spitting, no scratching. She explained she was pregnant and desperate for privacy. According to Cardi B, Ellis followed her and filmed her with a phone, making her feel threatened. Cardi B's lawyers argued she was the one being harassed, not the aggressor. They suggested Ellis saw a chance to profit by making false claims against a celebrity. Cardi B insisted she only yelled, never got physical. Her defense, she was a vulnerable mother-to-be, not an attacker. The defense team aimed to show Cardi B was protecting herself, not hurting anyone. The jury had to choose between two completely different stories. Was Cardi B a victim of harassment, or did she cross the line? The stakes couldn't be higher for both women. The next step, hearing from witnesses who were there that day. Their testimony would be crucial. Witnesses can make or break a case, and Cardi B had two key supporters, her doctor and the receptionist. Both were present during the incident and testified in court. Dr. Fink, Cardi B's obstetrician, said he saw no physical fight and confirmed the office closed early for privacy. The receptionist also testified, saying they witnessed no contact between Cardi B and Ellis. These neutral witnesses backed up Cardi B's story. Their testimony cast doubt on Ellis's claims of a violent attack. With no other witnesses supporting Ellis, her story became harder to prove. The jury now had to weigh Ellis's account against Cardi B's and her witnesses. The doctor and receptionist's statements were a turning point. Their credibility made a big impact on the jury. The evidence was stacking up in Cardi B's favor. The trial was nearing its climax. Next, the jury would decide who to believe. The verdict was just around the corner. After all the testimony, the jury began deliberations. Their job, decide if Ellis proved her case against Cardi B. In civil cases, the standard is more likely than not as strict as criminal trials, but still demanding evidence. The jury deliberated for less than an hour, a sign they found the decision clear. Quick verdicts often mean the evidence strongly favored one side. The jury weighed Ellis's story against Cardi B's denial and her witnesses' testimony. They considered the lack of physical evidence and the absence of other witnesses for Ellis. The decision came swiftly. The courtroom waited for the verdict, the stakes millions of dollars and Cardi B's reputation. The jury's choice would end a years-long legal battle. Everyone was anxious to hear the outcome. The moment of truth had arrived. Would Cardi B be found responsible, or would she walk free? The answer was about to be revealed. The jury returned with their verdict. Cardi B was not liable for assault and battery. They didn't believe she was responsible for Ellis's injuries or damages. Cardi B won the case and owed Ellis nothing. The verdict was a huge relief for Cardi B after years of stress. The jury believed her story and her witnesses. Ellis's claims weren't backed by enough evidence. The outcome showed how crucial credible witnesses are in court. Cardi B's name was cleared, and the legal battle was over. The verdict was final. No millions to pay, no stain on her reputation. For Cardi B, it was more than a legal win. It was personal vindication. She could finally move on from the lawsuit. The courtroom drama had ended in her favor. After the verdict, Cardi B was visibly emotional and relieved. She thanked her lawyers and the jury for believing her. Cardi B strongly restated her innocence, saying she never touched Ellis. Her words were passionate. "Even on my deathbed, I'll say I did not touch that woman." The case had weighed on her for years, and now she could finally breathe. As she left court, a reporter's rude question sparked a brief outburst. Cardi B threw a pen and demanded respect. The moment showed the ongoing pressures of fame, even after victory. For Cardi B, the verdict was a chance to move forward. Her fans celebrated, and she could focus on her family and music again. The trial was a window into the challenges celebrities face. In the end, Cardi B proved her innocence in court. The legal chapter closed, she was free to look ahead. The world watched, and Cardi B walked away vindicated.